Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. It's Friday, October 11th, 2024, and these are your Unbiased Updates. Many Floridians begin to return to see what's left of their homes. This morning, the hurricane's death toll, the rescues, and massive damage. And gold mine deadly disaster. The malfunction and dramatic rescues underground at a tourist attraction in Colorado.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. These are today's Unbiased Updates.
At least 8 people are dead and just under 3 million homes and businesses remain without power as Florida begins to pick up the pieces after Hurricane Milton roared across the state. It was the second devastating storm to batter the Sunshine State in less than 2 weeks. Now, a post-tropical cyclone, Milton is expected to continue to weaken over the next few days. While Milton made landfall on Florida's west coast near Sarasota, most of the deaths reported have been in the eastern part of the state, where there were dozens of tornadoes. And while the storm did not prove to be the worst-case scenario, rescuers have been very busy pulling and dragging hundreds of people from flooded areas to safety. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and President Joe Biden have both said in this case warnings came early and often, spurring tens of thousands of people to evacuate, saving countless lives. Still, the cleanup and recovery processes are expected to take weeks, if not months, especially in the areas that were hit by Hurricane Helene 13 days before Milton barreled in. On the other side of the country, in Colorado, 12 people are now safe after getting trapped at the bottom of a gold mine for 6 hours. Unfortunately, one person died when the elevator they were on at the popular tourist attraction experienced a mechanical problem 500 feet below the Earth's surface. While trapped, the 12 adults did have access to water and were able to communicate with authorities via radio. As that group was stuck, rescuers were able to get to 11 other people who were riding the elevator and get them to safety. The local sheriff said it is not yet known what caused the malfunction. An investigation is underway. The incident happened during the final week of Molly Kathleen gold mine tourist season before it shuts down for the winter. In Texas, 2 people are dead and 35 more are injured after a chemical leak involving hydrogen sulfide, a potentially toxic gas, at an oil refinery in Deer Park that's near Houston. It happened late yesterday afternoon. Officials say a group was working on a flange when some kind of accident happened and gas started leaking. Emergency officials urged residents in the area to shelter in place after the incident. But this morning, that's since been lifted after air monitoring showed no signs that hazardous chemicals had gotten into the air. Turning now to the presidential election. With just 25 days until Americans head to the polls, voters in 2 battleground states heard from 2 former presidents on Thursday, as Republican nominee, former President Donald Trump, spoke to supporters in Detroit, Michigan, while former President Barack Obama, stumped for Democratic nominee Vice President Kamala Harris, delivered a speech in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. While delivering his economic address to the Detroit Economic Club, Trump spoke about his goal to revive the auto industry and bring, quote, a rebirth to Detroit. He then turned to his international companies and his plans for them to open facilities in America.
So here is the deal that I will be offering to the world, to companies outside of our world, big companies, powerful companies that have become powerful because we were stupid. We were stupid. We allowed them to come in and raid and rape our country. That's what they did. Oh, he used the word rape. That's right, I used the word rape. They raped our country. The United States will give you the lowest taxes, the lowest energy costs. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country in the world, and it's the best. It's the best. But only if you make your products here in America. In other words, you get all of these assets, but you have to make your product here in America, and you have to hire American workers. And if
In Pittsburgh, former President Obama addressed a crowd of Democratic supporters, listed his reasons why Vice President Harris is the better choice over Donald Trump come November.
Kamala is as prepared for the job as any nominee for president has ever been. That's who Kamala is. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I've noticed this especially with some men who seem to think Trump's behavior, the bullying and the putting people down, is a sign of strength. And I am here to tell you that is not what real strength is. Real strength is about working hard and carrying a heavy load without complaining. Real strength is about taking responsibility for your actions and telling the truth even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That is what we should want for our daughters and for our sons, and that is what I want to see in a president of the United States of America.
Vice President Harris, meantime, participated in a town hall in Las Vegas hosted by Univision on Thursday. Former President Trump is scheduled to take part in one next week. Now to the latest in the Middle East, where Lebanese authorities say Israeli airstrikes targeting Hezbollah in Beirut killed 22 people and injured 117 others. Sources telling Reuters a senior Hezbollah official targeted by Israeli forces during the Thursday night strikes was able to survive. Israel has not commented on the attack. Meantime, the United Nations says its personnel is facing increasing danger in Lebanon as 2 UN peacekeepers were injured after an Israeli tank fired at a watchtower at its main headquarters in the southern portion of the country. Israel issuing a statement on the incident saying its military operated next to the UN's base and had instructed UN officials to remain in protected spaces before its troops opened fire. The peacekeepers were said to be in good condition and being treated for their injuries. Finally, this morning, in a sign of true sportsmanship, 8 American sports leagues are coming together to back a new campaign, one targeting hate in America. It's an idea from New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft and his foundation to combat anti-Semitism. The initiative bringing together the heads of the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, NASCAR, and others to come up with a plan to curb hate of any kind in the country. The sports leaders are spending $50 million to get the word out. The campaign, titled Timeout Against Hate, launched last night during Thursday Night Football with a commercial featuring legendary figures and current-day athletes from all sports speaking out against hate.
So let's take this moment
to change the momentum
and call a timeout
on hate.
Together.
These are your unbiased updates for this Friday. We'll see you back here on Monday. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great weekend.